they return only true or false. So now for the first operator, that's and, the first operator returns true if the two conditions you give it are true. Meaning if one of the condition is false, it will return false. Meaning both must be true for it to return true. Now for example, now we can say print, then we say 1 equals 1, and that's our Boolean operator. 2 equals 2. Now if we run this code, it should bring out true. Can you see? It's brought out true at the left side of the shell there. So now if one of them is false, for example, if I change this 2 here to 3, I change it to 3. If I change it to 3 and I run the code now, you'll figure it to bring false because one of the condition is not true. So now this is for the AND operator. But if we are going to go for the OR will say if one of them is true, it will output true, or if both of them are true, or if one is if both are false. Meaning if the OR operator is actually true if either or both of them are true, and is false if both of them are false. So meaning this condition you see here that it says 1 equals 1 and 2 equals 3. You know 2 equals 3 is false. So since 1 equals 1 is true here, it will mark out true. It will output true because one of the condition is true. So can you see true? But if both of the conditions are false, that means they are not correct. It will output false because both of the conditions are false. For example, can you see false? So meaning if both of the conditions are true, it will output true. If one of the conditions is true, it will output true. But if both are false, it will output false. So that's for the OR operator. Then now we move to the NOT. So for NOT, you say NOT is one argument and invert it. It will take one argument and invert it. For example, if you say what? If you say so if you say for example, I say not 1 equals 1. So I say not 1 equals 1. Do you know what this thing is saying? You know, initially, if we say 1 is equals to 1, it will output truth. But now, since we put not we inverse it to make it output the opposite. So now, where is supposed to output true, it will output false. Where is supposed to output false, it will output true. For example, if we run this now, it should bring out, can you see, false. That means you are saying if this thing is not 1 equals 1. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So 1, if not, that means not 1 equals 1, then it will output false. So now that's for Boolean what's the name, for Boolean operators. And note, you can also change multiple conditional statements in an if statement using the Boolean operators. That means if your this is equals to this and so for example, let me just quickly do a quick code on that. I can just say if, then I'll come here my condition if x equals 1 and y equals 2. Then I'll come here and say print into brackets hello. Okay, there's a mistake, I didn't put my double quotes, so I'll say hello world. So now let me go and declare my variable, that's x and y. So my first variable x will be equal to 1, y will be equals to 2. So now if I were to save and run, since both conditions are true, it will output this. So for example, let me run it. As you can see, it's printed hello world because both conditions are true. But now if I now say else, if I come here and add an operation saying operator saying else, I be a condition saying else, or else if, that's elif. You know that now, the elif statement. So I'll say elif. So yeah, I'll say, I'll copy this same thing, but this time I'll use and. Control C. Then I'll come here, I'll say, you know, for our or operator, if one is true, one of the operators is true, it will output true. If two of them are true, it will output true. But if both of them are false, it will output false. So now I'll say or, then I'll declare a third variable z, or. Then I'll now say if z equals, okay, that's wrong. Or I'll say z equals, let's see, I'll make the z 3 from here. So what I'll do is this, z equals 3. So now if I run this, okay, I'm coming. No, I know what I did wrong actually. I didn't add the condition for it, so I'm supposed to use print. Then I'll say, for example, print 1 is incorrect or false. So now if x and y equals 2, or see, can you see here? Okay, I made a mistake. This should have been z, it should have been y. But what I will now do is I will change y here to 3. So 3. So now if I run this, it should be telling me one of them is incorrect or false. Can you see? You know our y initially was 2, and the first statement says both must be true for it to output true. If not, if one is false, it will output false. But for the or statement, if one is correct, it will output true. If both are correct, it will output true. But if both are false, it will output false. So now there's still one more operator, which is the not. So now for this one, we'll say the not statement actually inverses what's the name? Inverses value. Meaning here normally it's, if we say x equals 1, it will output true. But if we say not x equals 1, it will output false. That means it's opposite of true. So we say not x equals 1. So now we already know our x is equals to 1 here. Save. If we run the code now, you figure out you should pretty much should do nothing. Can you see it didn't do anything? Because x is equals to 1. But if our x is now 4, you figure out it will output that one is incorrect prompts below the condition not. So now let me run that so you see it. Can you see? One is incorrect or false. So now that's all for your and, or, and not operator. So now we move to the while loops. You see, the loop is used to repeat a block of code multiple times. For example, if you want to process multiple user inputs so that each time the user inputs something, the same block of code is executed. So you say, let's say we are to create a code containing a variable that counts up from 1 to 5, at which point the code terminates. So now let's create a simple program that counts from 1 to 5, then terminates the program as soon as it gets to 5. So this is very simple actually. So we declare our variable I equals 1. Abi? Then we say while I is less than or equals to 5. Then, you know, this is a condition. It's telling it that so far this I is less than 5, it should keep running this code. So far I is less than 5, it will keep running the code that we place below here. So the code will be print I you know, in the previous class about variables, I told you variables can change at any time. They can change at any time, anywhere. They are very prone to changing. So now let me just add this print, then brackets. Finished. So now if you were to run this, can you see what it did? So what it did is very simple. Let me explain the code. Our variable, we all know that the value is 1. So you are not telling the program why our variable, that's 1, is less than or equal to 5. You should keep printing I, and you should do this. So the code here, I already taught you that in your previous class in variables and operators. You see, this is telling you I equals I plus 1. That means you are only adding I1 to the I variable. So for every one it's add, it will print it out. You know, it's printed from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, then to 5. So our condition here says while I is less than or equal to 5. So once it gets equal to 5, it won't print again because our I is equal to 5 already. You know the condition, while it is less than or equal to 5. So it can't do anything once it's equal to 5 already. It will just end the program.
I didn't give another example, but make it a little bit complex.
I should give you another example, but make it a little bit complex. For now, you know I'm recording, so I can't do that for now. So this is for your while loop. Now, in your while loop, the code in the body of the while loop is executed repeatedly. This is called iteration. You can use multiple statements in the while loop